editions of the Jewish presence in the Jewish Museum of Thessalonica. The first picture postcard of Thessalonica appeared in 1896 in various editions. The majority of publishers were Jews, the best known amongst them being the Asael, Persano, Rosali, Benvenisti, Madiano, Tarasso, Saragosi, Rosa, Nissen. Dennis Megas, souvenir images of the Jewish community in Thessaloniki from 1897 to 1917, campaign editions. Pre-war postcard depicting Jewish women from Thessaloniki, and this is from the archive of the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki. The married Jewess of Thessalonica wore traditional clothes. The main garment, the saya, was a type of long sleeveless dress cut away about the breast. It was made of brocade and had a rich floral design. Worn over the saya was the entari. This was a close-fitting kaftan with wide sleeves made from stripped silk material. Worn over the entari was the kapatina, a short jacket reaching the waist. Made of lattice and satin with wide sleeves. The garment was always lined, or at least edged with fur. The basic feature of the dress was a long, finely pleated apron made of fine silk cotton material. The most distinctive feature of the woman's costume was the covering of the head, known as the kafia. This is from 1897 to 1917. It's an Israeli stamp. The stamp issued in 2006 in Israel, depicting the chief rabbi pre-war Thessaloniki, Jacob Meir. It's from the archive of the University of Thessaloniki. He lived from 1856 until just before the war in 1939. He was born in Jerusalem to parents from Rhodes. He benefited from the previous Hakam Bashi, the Jacob Kobo. Wherever the family of Meir's wife, Rachel Yitzhak, came from Thessaloniki to Palestine. The Jewish community of Thessaloniki orchestrated an elaborate ceremony in 1809 from Meir that reinforced dual allegiance to Judaism and the Ottoman Empire. An overflowing crowd of 15,000 gathered at the Talmud Torah. A picture postcard depicting the entrance to the Hospital Hirsch, a Jewish museum from Thessaloniki. That was the Hirsch Hospital. The postcard depicting the interior of the Hospital Hirsch, the names of the donors, a photograph of Baroness Clara Hirsch. And this is a 1997 postage stamp depicting the hospital, formerly the Jewish Hirsch Hospital. Donation present there from Ioannis Raffinidis, President of the Hellenic Philatelic Society of Thessaloniki. The Hirsch Hospital was built in 1904 and was inaugurated in 1908 based on the designs of Piero Arrigoni. The purpose was to serve the members of the Jewish community of Thessaloniki. It was a personal project of Dr. Mos Mizrahi, grandson of Lazanos Altalini, the nephew of Mos Alatini. In 1917, the Hirsch Hospital housed the 14th Allied Hospital. During the German occupation, it was requisitioned by the German Red Cross. After the liberation in 1944, it was used by the British troops and later the Hellenic Red Cross until 1950. In 1951, the Jewish community donated it to the Greek state under the condition that the inscription bearing Baroness Hirsch's name would be preserved. His name changed first to the People's Hospital and later to the Hippocratia. Postcard by the publisher Hanal Na'ar, Thessaloniki, the pier at Freedom Square, Jewish Museum of Saloniki, and it's a collection of Marcel Yoel. Depiction, this is a depiction of the Thessaloniki on an Israeli stamp, issued in 1943. This was the Keren Kayemit Israel, archive of Aristotle University Thessaloniki. And the stamp is part of the diaspora series issued by the Keren Kayemit Israel prior to the establishment of the State of Israel. It depicts a traditional boat used by the Jewish fishermen set against the background of Nicholas Avenue and the White Tower. The first issue of the series dates back to 1943, the same year the trains began departing from Saloniki's old railway station en route to Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp. Postcard depicting a Jewish porter. And this is also from the archive of the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki, the Megas collection. In 1919, the majority of the Jewish population of Thessaloniki was engaged in maritime professions, including 9,000 fishermen, porters, and dock workers, out of a total of approximately 35,000 individuals, constituting the labor force of 70,000 Jews in Thessaloniki with about 130,000 inhabitants. And this is from Rina Mano, the Jews of Thessaloniki, 1856 to 1919. The Jewish population of Thessaloniki was the majority. Jewish laborers played a dominant role in the port of Thessaloniki. They were employed on ships, owned barges used for loading and unloading cargo, even the vessels anchored offshore, and operated excursion boats for the city's inhabitants. Most notably, however, they were fishermen passing nets both within the port of Thessaloniki and the surrounding waters. Thessaloniki Jewish dock workers before the migration to Palestine. There were quite a few of the dock workers that were asked to come to Israel, and they were in Haifa, and they survived. Those that didn't come, unfortunately, 97% of all Thessaloniki's Jews were deported to death camps, mainly Auschwitz. The Jewish porters who migrated to Haifa, the back of the photograph is the list of their names, and this is from the Jewish Museum of Thessaloniki. After the Great Fire of 1917, segments of the Jewish population of Thessaloniki departed for the Western Europe and Palestine. Following the arrival of refugees from Asia Minor in 1922 and the abolition of Saturday as a day of rest in 1924, thousands of affluent Jews left Thessaloniki, subsequently establishing themselves in Italy, France, and Palestine. On July the 7th, 1930, a group of porters from Thessalonica, led by Yehuda Baruch, arrived in Palestine. The arson of the Jewish neighborhood of Kamper in 1931 prompted migration from Thessaloniki to escalate into a mass exodus. Those Thessaloniki Jews who were able to immigrate managed to escape the extermination camps during the German occupation. In 2016, postage stamps for the 25 years of the diplomatic relations between Greece and Israel. And this is a stamp, a joint stamp from Greece and from Israel, depicting Haifa, the Baha, and Saloniki with the White Tower. This is the Saloniki and Haifa ports. The Jewish presence in the port of Thessaloniki was highly significant, particularly in the domain of dock labor up until the interwar period, and in the collaboration between the port and Jewish maritime agents and merchants up until the German occupation. The presence was so substantial and influential that until mid-1920, Saturday was observed as a day of rest. In Ladino, the Judeo-Spanish dialect functioned as the primary language of communication within the port. Moreover, the Jewish community played a crucial role in the strategic sector of maritime agency, facilitated by the extensive networks that Jewish merchants in Thessaloniki maintained with their counterparts in other European ports. And this is from Christos Mays, The Port of Ghosts, the Jewish presence and absence in the port of Thessaloniki. Now we're going on to the synagogues in Thessaloniki. The Monasteriates synagogue, located in Synagro Street, was founded in 1926 with the donations of Ida Aresti in memory of her husband Isaac. Donations were also made by families who came from Monastir na Bitola in North Macedonia, Fyrom, and settled in Thessalonica after the Balkan Wars of 1912 and 13 and World War I, 1914 to 1918. The construction followed the design of Czech architect Eli Ernesto Levy and took 2 years to be completed. The inauguration happened on the 27th of Elul, 5687 September 1927. During the Axis occupation, the Monasteriates synagogue was used by the Red Cross as a supply room and thus being spared the Nazi destruction and remaining good condition. With the return of the few Jewish survivors from the death camps and the reconstruction of the community, the Monasteriates synagogue became the main synagogue of Thessaloniki. The synagogue was renovated in 2016 with funding from the Federal Republic of Germany. Day after the Holocaust, the Jewish Museum in Thessaloniki. And this is the inauguration ceremony of the Monasteritas synagogue, September 1927. Photo of the synagogue, the Monasteritas synagogue, and this is the interior. Beautiful interior of the Monasteritas synagogue. In 1995, a postage stamp from the special stamp set Europa 1995, Peace and Freedom, in commemoration of the 50 years since the liberation of the concentration camps. Donation of Leonis Rafanidis, President of the Hellenic Philatelic Society of Thessaloniki. In the commemorative stamp series issued in 2017, a stamp was included honoring the former president of the Central Israel Council of Greece, Moses Konstantini, who served as special philatelic advisor to the Hellenic Post. Moses K. Konstantinos, the commercial activity of Greek Jews until the Holocaust. And this is a postage stamp depicting the Holocaust Memorial in Thessaloniki. The Holocaust Memorial of Thessaloniki was created by Yugoslav sculptor Nador Glid and completed by his son Daniel Glid after the death of the former in 1997. The sculpture depicts a complex of human figures that are falling. The interlocking figures created a lit menorah with simultaneously a wire mesh fence. Their position and color created an uncomfortable, suffocating feeling that the former are styled and are depicted genderless without any identifying features. The monument was erected by the Greek government to commemorate the 50,000 Greek Jews of Thessaloniki that suffered in the Nazi death camps. Originally, the memorial was situated in the square at the junction of Kleanthos and Papastera streets. The area is of great significance because in 1943 it used to be the detainment district 151 The sculpture was unveiled by the President of the Republic at the time, Konstantinos Stephanopoulos, on November the 23rd, 1997. In 2006, it was transferred to its current location in the Eleftheria Square.